Today we're being rejoined by Claremont Waflw star Jayme Harken. Jayme, thanks for coming back on.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Love coming on. So
I appreciate it very much. Kind words. Now, Jayme, I'm not going to make you rehash the same thing about telling us a bit about yourself, but obviously you play at Claremont. When we last spoke, I'm pretty sure it was just before round one was starting and the preseason games were happening, and now we're 9 rounds in, and you're flying on top of the ladder at 8-1. Must be pretty happy with how the season started.
yeah. Obviously, it's flown by. Doesn't feel like that long ago talking to you, but had a lot of good footy under our belt. Still a long way to go. But yeah, feeling really good. Connecting well, and I think we're just building nicely how we want to. Still, as I said, long way to go and a bit to work on. But it's great.
Now, I'm going to start with the toughest question you probably have to answer today, Jayme. Now, obviously, you'll be very modest, I'm sure, but in my eyes, you're the best player in the AFLW competition, and I've spoken to a few people outside that watch it regularly as well, and they have you in that same position. Now, obviously, Fremantle have had some injuries go down. Have you been contacted at any form by the Dockers at all?
No. I appreciate the sentiment. I think there's a particularly a lot of young kids who will take that mantle at the moment. But no contact. But I just continue doing what I'm doing, enjoying my footy. If opportunities come about, absolutely. Obviously, really unfortunate for obviously Ange and Serena recently, and then you had Hayley and Tildy with Eagles. So it's been an unfortunate run for those girls, and whoever steps in, I know they've had a few girls come in now as replacement players. So I know they're going to be great as well. If that opportunity is knocking, I'd love it. But no, nothing at this stage. And as I said, wish those girls the best, particularly Ange. I've played with her at Subi before, and I know she's bigger and better and stronger.
That's fair enough. Now, just one more on that side of things. If that vacancy was at an other club outside of Perth, would you be willing to take that option if it's outside of Perth?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very much a yes person, and opportunities take you. So I would have no hesitation. If anything came my way. So if you want to put those out, just tell them Scoops. That's great.
Don't worry, Jayme. I've done that. I've spoken to some other people in more higher positions than me that've had that position for you as well. So, but as I know, and if people that don't know, you did play a few games for the Eagles a little while ago, as an injury replacement player, was it? And just to kind of rehash how important that was for you back then to show that you're capable of being at that level, and you've backed it up since you've come back to AFLW as well.
Yeah, I haven't played AFLW. No, I wasn't injury replacement, but I was a train-on with them.
Sorry, I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, I've played some scrimmages for the girls that weren't selected last year. I helped fill the numbers for their scrimmages last year, and injury replacement pre-COVID for them as well. But just the opportunity to play with those girls and help them get better was really. And just doing some trainings with those girls is a great experience, and shows you what it takes to be at that level, which absolutely loved every part of it, and feel like able to, which makes you feel good. But loving my time at AFLW as well, and just helping Claremont progress and hopefully go all the way.
So now, obviously, since we've kind of started, have you had a fair few injuries happen throughout the side, and you still maintained as a team a high level of performance, and obviously being 8-1. And then you've had a few younger girls from the Rogers Cup. A few names that I've had on, Ella Gilby and obviously Savannah Muir have come on in the side at times as well. Must be pretty happy to have kind of a bit of everything. You've performed strong. Unfortunately, had some injuries, but then you've had those younger girls progress, come in and do well as well. Both it's a debut goal, I remember too.
Those, as you said, you've spoken to Gilby and Sav, and we had a couple yesterday in Jess Freeman and May Nicholson. Played some games, but she's come back into the league side as well. I think we, for the game yesterday, said I think we had 7 or 8 girls eligible to play up, so that under 18 playing for us yesterday, which I think is a testament to the depth of our squad and our squad as a whole, not just our overage players, but our underage girls as well. And that's what we like to do at Claremont, develop our girls and make sure they're ready to play league football we know they are. You know, we practice the same structures, same systems across both grades to make sure that it's seamless for them, and getting that lead those girls is just invaluable. And yeah, they're just as much as part of the team as anyone else who comes in, and I hope they feel that. But yeah, we're loving the kids coming through. They just give you that buzz of energy. We've got a few players at the top end, including myself with the age bracket, but a lot at the bottom as well. And that mix of experience and youth is really exciting, and something that's common across the whole WAFLW as well.
Now, obviously, yourself and Angelique Reisman, people don't know who I'm talking about, obviously got to play in that state game against SA. Jayme, obviously, the result didn't go the way the team would have liked, but how was that experience again? Another level up to play the best of another state?
Oh, yeah, it was so enjoyable. And, yeah, not just Andrew. We had 8 Claremont players, which is incredible. I think more than half the side was East Fremantle and Claremont, which is, I think, a important thing in itself. But no, the experience was great, and just testament to all the girls, regardless of the result, were just like soaking in the experience, you know, playing at Optus Stadium, which was incredible, playing before obviously an AFL game. But no, yeah. They were, as we expected, super hard competition, in and under players, which I think we sort of prepared ourselves a little bit for. But when they showed up on the day, their contested work was second to none. And yeah, obviously got the jump on us, 3 or 4 goals early, which made it difficult. I'm super proud of the team to come back and rally together and start playing some connected, really skillful footy, which I think is what everyone wanted to see. Was some really exciting footy, which happened from both teams. So love the experience, and super grateful to be involved.
And so I was going to ask you how it was playing on Optus, as you just mentioned, how awesome that would be. And then before an AFL game, did the crowd, obviously, for that game start to build up a little bit more? How was that with the crowd? The reason I asked that is because did it feel more pressure knowing that you're playing on that ground, and then you start seeing more people rock in as it goes on?
Yeah, it's funny. So Kate who's part of Claremont, but she's the captain of the team. She works at, and she obviously had a bit of insight and has been on the Oval before, and also played AFLW on Optus. And she's made a really valid point that said, when you walk out there, it's going to be overwhelming, while there was no one there when we walked out there initially. But as soon as it feels like footy, and that's exactly what happened. It was just like, when you look up, you remind yourself how big the stadium is, but when you're playing footy, it was just like another game of footy, and a great oval at that. But you're right, towards the end of the game, and I think it was when the game was starting to get a lot closer as well, the crowd did up, and on certain wings you could definitely hear it a little bit. So yeah, it was very exciting. And then by the end of the game, when you had the boys running on the oval and the crowd was there, it was quite different to the start. So yeah.
So did you? I'm sure, Jayme, that you would have had a lot of your current teammates or teammates around the whole competition, or players around the whole competition, I should say, coming in to kind of throw their 2 cents worth in as well.
Yeah, there was people scattered all over the ground, and you could different groups. I know Eva Popovsky from Subi had a fan club with all their Subi girls. You could see them, and they were clumped all over the oval. But being such a big ground, see everyone. But really fun.
That's good. Who were some of those WA girls, or even some of the SA girls that you may know of or heard of, that you feel kind of really stood up in that game? And probably, there's no better game to stand up in than a state game on that ground when there's AFLW clubs there watching.
I think that the obvious ones for us were our underages. So obviously Zippy won best on in that game, and she just provides that spark. But Molly as well. I know she had a period of time where she was off the ground with a bit of a head knock, but her impact, particularly when she came inside, just her fearlessness, footy, so important. And I think Claudia Wright, also another one who got injured in the game, but one of our Claremont girls, impacting our half back. But I think as well, the pressure that the backies were under, your M. Bennett's, Eliza, Jayme, Claire, or the heat that they were under, their ability to impact was really important defensively. And then from an attacking perspective, I think it was our smalls that were so dangerous. I mentioned Eva before, but she just provided spark, as well as Miley as well on the ground. So and Amara as well. I could keep rattling them off, but Amara's impact in the forward line was exciting too. From an SA perspective, without knowing much of them. Obviously, I'd be remiss to say, look, I've heard of Jess Bates, obviously, and her impact around the ground. But I think just collectively they had a lot of their players were actually midfielders playing in different positions, and you could see how good their contested work was, and their ability to surge in numbers and attack that footy really hard, which is something that I look back on and just like quite envious that they have so many players like that, because obviously similar to how I like to play is attack the footy. So it's great to see like a team full of them just attacking hard and trusting in each other to win the footy. So some quality players all around the ground, as you'd expect when you've got the best from each state too.
That's right. So how impressive, you listed off a fair few of the WA girls, and off the top you mentioned the youngest ones, Zippy Fish, obviously Claudia Wright and Molly O'Hare as well. It must take some confidence for the future of WA girls footy at least, that, you know, you said that there's a younger team, and they get that experience when those girls, those three in particular, will get drafted for sure. And then, you know, you'll see how they'll go, and it's great experience for them heading into their future years as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think SA obviously knew girls, they because that's all you hear about is our top three WA girls. And I didn't mention Tash as well, Tash Entwistle, who is not one of the academy players, but he's thriving off that back line too. But all those girls, they won't be around for the state game next year. They'll be on AFLW clubs, and everyone knows that. But that experience early for them to play on bigger bodies. They played in the Waflw W, but to have a full team of them, invaluable for them, but also for them to have confidence to know that they're on the right track, and they absolutely can stand up at that level. And so important for them. I don't think those girls need too much of a reminder, because I've spoken of all the time, but it's still in themselves knowing that I can stand up in games, and they don't having bodies to play on around them is really important for them.
For sure, it definitely is. Now, throughout the whole Waflw W competition, Jayme, who's either a team or players, they don't have to be from Claremont, they've kind of impressed you this year or surprised you, again, or some of them maybe you girls have come up against, you're like, gee, we're going to take more notice of this person?
I don't know about individuals, because we're pretty, I think all teams are across all individuals, but I will say team-wise, I'm just so impressed with the evenness of the competition this year. All the way, I know Peel are building a little bit, but down to East Perth, like that, we've only played them once at this stage, but they've got a couple of wins so far. I think they're playing currently at the moment, actually. But just their ability to stand up in the contest has been so important for the competition that, you know, you can't take a backward step at any stage. And as we saw with Swan Districts, you know, when they put their best footy together, they're one of the best teams in the competition, and that's why they beat us. But yeah, West Perth has stood up this year. Subi, when we played them, played some incredibly hard attacking footy as well. And then you've got likes of East Fremantle and South Fremantle, which we expected to. So definitely, and Peel acknowledge that they're building as well, but all the other teams, it's bloody tough up against them. And it's just exciting that it means that we get to, if we want to win, we need to show our best footy, which is exciting for us, but exciting for the competition too. Yeah, no standouts at this stage. Sorry, Scoots, I know you wanted, one.
No, that's fine. It's good. That's good.
The league is progressing so to that point that it's just, you can't be off by even a little bit. You'll get found out.
That's fair. And it's funny you mentioned about how even it is, and I spoke to the few of the Peel girls in the past on here and just through messages and that, and, you know, they've been talking about how it is a development year, and then they've been smashed by injuries the last 3 to 4 rounds at least. And it's funny you mentioned that, Jayme, so of course I had to look at the scores, didn't I? And they're about to actually win. They're 15 points up with 4.5 minutes to go.
I actually did think they were up, which would be super exciting for them, and something they'll be like super stoked with around building as well, taking learnings, because I think they only played East Perth a couple of weeks ago, so learnings from putting it into practice. So yeah, stoked for them as well.
That's right. Yeah, East Perth, I think they had won. You know, they hadn't won before, then they won 2 games just like that. Speaking to a few of them girls again at the same time they had those wins, are just so good for them. And now Peel in that similar boat, haven't won for a while, smashed by injuries. See, it goes back to what you're saying about being even to a degree. Yes, they're on the lower level on the ladder, but it just shows that anyone can beat anyone on their day, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then obviously this round, obviously played South Fremantle, am I correct? Was it a point or something like that? So again, it just shows again about your evenness, because on the ladder you look at it, yes, they might have been fourth or fifth or whatever they were, and you're near the top, but again, evenness.
Yeah, and we knew exactly what to expect yesterday from South Freo. They won't go away, but their contested work is incredible in and under, and then they can expose you out the back. So yeah, super stressful game yesterday. I think proud of our girls for the last game we played. Obviously wasn't our best footy, and I think we were getting back to that in moments yesterday. Just our execution at times, you're not good. It's going to be hard to hold on games of footy when you kick 3 goals 11. But I think the way we moved the ball in moments was how we want to, and we just need to keep building on that and do that for full.
That's right, and obviously, yes, you're probably not going to say much, but yesterday you had a handy game yourself, having 32. Not too bad, Jayme. Nice and easy.
Oh, look, I just I've had a flat couple of weeks for myself personally, so just wanted to get my hands on the footy, and it definitely wasn't a flawless game by any means, but just wanted to play my role, which is to be first to the footy, which I think I did yesterday, and we had a lot of change in our midfield, so I think we had so many players stand up, including our debutant, including girls changing positions. So yeah, massive team effort yesterday, and I think we had contributors across the ground.
That's right. So Jamie's just said everyone she had a few lean weeks, so she knew during the week that she was coming on the day after the game, so she knew she had to make it a big one for me to bring it up.
Oh.
Well, mission accomplished. Well done. Well done.
Okay.
Now, obviously, as you know, had a fair few of your teammates on. Charlotte Adams is one I'm going to bring up. Now, she obviously had some moments where she wasn't really a goal celebrator. Andrew and I, in particular, there might have been others but that I know of, we're trying to get her to do a goal celebration, Jayme, and we finally got it out of her, because remember that game, she did the double cobra. I had her on it coincidentally the day before that game, and we were saying, Andrew and I, to her, come on, you got to do something. Don't be plain and boring. Do something. And that's what we come with. And she's promised she'd do it, and she did it, and she stuck to it. And it was good to see. It's always good to add a bit of more excitement into it instead of being dull and boring.
I actually did see the interview you had, so Patch is in, as she would have told you.
Of course, yeah.
I did see her interview with you, and I don't know if you saw from the footage from the double cobra, but in the midfield, I turned to Patch and did the double cobras and got her again from her. So I remember.
Did you?
Yeah, I pulled it out from her for another one. So I was on board with that goal celebration too. So well done, Scoop. She got it out of her twice. So.
I feel proud, and the camera showed the replay. So the very first time she did it, when she did it, the camera was just about to show the replay while she was doing it. Like, don't you cut it off?
Yeah.
I can't see if it's got a replay on it, but it's a millisecond. I just saw the hands go up, and then it put a replay up at the top. So just made it, and I posted that. I'm pretty certain too.
No, I love a good goal celebration. I'm terrible at them and just turn and run back to the middle. So I love girls celebrating the goals, and that's my mission, to be a little bit better if I kick a goal next. So
okay. You just said that. So when the next goal is coming, Jayme, what are you doing?
Oh, general celebration with the girls is what I want, because sometimes I just literally turn around and run back, which not me being disappointed in it. It's I don't like to make a big deal of it, but next time I'm committed to just celebrating the forwards and the mids and getting around it. Yeah, no specific celebration from me. I'm not a forward. I can't do that.
I might have to go give Andrew a message and see if we can convince you as well, but that's okay. But that's good. Now, obviously, who's some players at Claremont, Jayme, that have impressed you then this year so far? Either some that, kind of shot out of nowhere to a degree, or someone that people may not have heard of too much, or someone that just continued to be a consistent performer?
Oh, you like putting me on the spot. I reckon I mentioned a few in pre-season, so I'll try change it up a bit. I just love watching all Claremont players. Obviously, super biased, and I think they're all killing it. But I'll pick one from each line. So in the back, Lauren Hutton. So it's actually, she debuted this year. So she was on our list last year, but was coming back from an ACL injury. So it's one of our kids who plays last line of defence all the time, and she's got some consistent footy in her now after debuting, and gets better and better each week. She gets the tallest, hardest, deepest forward, and just have faith in it every time it goes down there. So she has been killing it. In the midfield, I will go more towards a winger. So Kobe Nichols, and I know you've had her on the show before as well. Yeah, Coves is a bit like Benjamin Button, just gets better and better as she gets older. But I think she's just like her skills have gone to a next level, her attack on the footy, but not so much known for her contested work, but her pressure around the footy has just taken up another level as well. So yeah, really silky smooth this year, Copes, and I'm so excited for her to keep getting even better. Forward line, let's go. I'll go little Amy Evans. So I mentioned her before. I think she's only 16 or 17, maybe 17 now. She had debuted last year, played a couple of league games, but has come back into the league side, and just one of those small forwards who impact every time. If she's not taking a mark out on the lead, she's chasing someone down, tackling. She's giving getting a ground ball and giving the hands on the up to another running forward. So just one of those small pressure forwards that you love having in your team and won't take a backward step, and is potentially what probably is our best tackler in the team. You don't want to be tackled by Amy. She will come in hard. She's small, but she's feisty, and yeah.
That's, you must be proud for her, Amy. This is that, you said she's 16, 17, and she's playing in a strong team already, and regardless of how many games it is, to get considered at a team that's going so well, yes, with injuries, but at that age to get in, like I said with Savannah as well, it's just like really just shows how much the club rates them with how you're going to still put them in.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mentioned the youth we had in the team, but they're not there because they're younger or older. They're there because they deserve to be there, and they need to know that as well. So
and with Kobe, she was saying about Tommy, and I'm pretty sure she said either this would be her last year or more likely would. Gee, if she's going so well, Jayme, she might have to reconsider that again and unretire or unthink
she
of
tried
retiring.
Yeah, it was her last year. We're on again, so we'll keep pushing for that.
So she said that the previous year too.
Yeah, she was thinking about it, so convinced her to stay on again.
So she might have to be convinced to do it again. Now, obviously, this isn't a hard one. So, if you could kind of, Jayme, map out the rest of this year, how would you like the club season to pan out for the rest of the year? Obviously, you want them to win, but how can you see the season going with all the evenness, and how many rounds exactly is there? I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, so we'll have 5 more regular round games. So on to the second round. So 8 in the comp, so 7 games and you play twice. Yeah, so 5 games left and then finals. Yeah, obviously the end goal is pretty clear that we want to win a premiership. But I think just important for us that we continue for looking back at previous years, so we don't want to stagnate here. And we've talked very openly, we've talked internally about mid-season is the hardest period for everyone, because people start to get tired. It's work or school, it becomes a heavy time for that as well, and there's be that flat period, but we're not going to go backwards. We're all going to rally around each other. Even the last few weeks, you can just see some girls just are tired, but naturally the closer you get to finals, everyone lifts up again, and that's what we want to do. We want to slowly build towards finals, so we're playing our best footy at the most important time of the year. So for us, that looks like playing good footy, obviously getting wins on the board. So we'd like to go through all the way now with those wins, but we want to be playing good footy that we're proud of as well. So yeah, and that looks like a premiership at the end for both us and our Rogers, having a bit of an up and down season, but for them, that's exactly the thing. Our under 18s just continue building, connecting as a team and play that good footy. So we're developing that competition is very much about development and getting more girls debuting at league level, and more girls debuting at level as well. So continue building as a club and get that ultimate success at the end of the year.
For sure. And obviously, we've mentioned, some injuries, some of the Rogers girls coming in. It kind of just shows the confidence that the club's got in some of these players to just bring them up or put them in, or whether they're, and the depth is there too, Jayme, which is, I think, an important thing too, where unfortunately for a few go out injured, but, you're confident in calling up whoever it is, someone from the league or someone from Rogers.
Yeah, for sure. And testament to the people we have around the club to help develop those girls as well. The systems we put in place to make sure they feel supported. But yeah, it doesn't happen without the great people and all our coaches and staff as well.
Who would you say is your club's biggest rival when you go to a footy game and you pencil in the calendar all the time, Jayme? Who's that team that you'd love to come up against?
Yeah, there's an obvious one in East Fremantle, but I will throw in Subi in there as well. So for two different reasons. So East Fremantle, obviously that continual rivalry over now, could be years of consistently being at the top and competing. So that's a really obvious one with the last 2 years of grand finals versing them. Subi is almost like a derby for us. Because of past player history, and just I think the closest club to us as well. It's very much, you get your East Freo, South Freo derbies. Claremont is a derby for us, and every time we come up against Subi, we know it's going to be another level that we have to play at because it's going to be a physical, contested game. Regardless of the personnel from now than there was a couple of years ago, there's just that long-living rivalry between teams.
That's right. That's good. So, obviously, you mentioned about East Fremantle. They're obviously being neck and neck, first and second on the ladder. That it potentially could be another grand final matchup.
Potentially, yeah, and we'll fully embrace that. And first and foremost, we want to be there at the end. And if it's East Fremantle at the end, or if it's South Fremantle or a West Perth or Swans, even Subi, whoever it is, we know what to come against. But yeah, you're right. East Fremantle, it's just been that continued rivalry just because of that our first weekend in July for us. So yeah.
How do you feel the Waflw standard of footy is coming this year compared to many other years? Do you feel like it's gone to another level? Do you feel like it's stagnated? How do you feel it's going year to year now since you've been in there for a little bit?
Yeah, I think the quality and skill of footy always continues to build. I think it's more just the makeup of the teams has continued to change. So you get more and more youth coming through all the teams, and each team looks a little bit different and how they develop their teams as well. But each year you'll just notice that you get more and more 17, 18-year-olds playing league footy, which makes it super exciting. And then the skill level goes to another level as well. The way the ball's moved through the middle, like the speed on the footy, that's been the biggest change in Waflw from my 7th season, from the time I started to now. Still got that physical contested element, but on the outside, once you get some quick ball movement, it's fast and exciting. And love the brand of footy that Waflw
How do you feel with the rules, Jayme? If there was like a rule you could either, like if you're in charge, what rule would you add or remove to the competition? And the one thing personally, I don't know if this is the same as you, but I feel like the time on thing is something like should be added. Like they should stop the clock after every goal. There was a game for Swan Districts that I watched earlier on the year, might have been around 2 or 3, where it wasn't against Claremont, but it was somewhere where someone went down injured. The Swan Districts, I remember this very well watching this game, and they were down by like 2 points, I think 2 or 3 points, whatever it was. There was 2 or 3 points. There was about a minute and a half to go. They had the ball from 60 metres out in their forward line districts, and they were trailing. And then there was an injured play for the opposition in their forward line, down for a good minute and a half. Like, I feel like, right, the time should be stopped because they were ruined an opportunity to win when they were clearly going into the 50. Now, who's to say they didn't score at all? They weren't given that chance. And that's always something I haven't liked, where the time just kept going. And that just proved that game alone, that prime example right there.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. And I've seen that happen a few times. And obviously within the rules, like there's nothing you can do in that space. And that's nothing on the players. It's obviously just the rule. I think the rule is the time only stops if a stretch is called for us.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely agree. If there's a player in the vicinity of the play, definitely should be able to hold time in that sense. Otherwise, I think our quarters have extended to 20 minutes flat this year, which has made a difference, which is great that they've extended it out. But yeah, that simple change, not that it impacts all games, but sometimes could impact the injury time there. Probably one for me is I was a bit hesitant about the stand rule early for us. But I've now seen the way that you can expose teams with it from an attacking perspective, and just makes you be more switched on from a defensive perspective. So you'd asked me a year or two ago, I'd say, but I actually don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it'd look like if you had last touch in the 50s. That might make it a bit interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have last touch between the 50s.
Yes. That would be interesting. Are you a fan of that, Jayme?
Yeah, I think, and I think at AFL as well, I just think it removes all question of doubt around the deliberate rule as well. It takes any onus out of the umpire's hands around that decision, and it makes sure it keeps the ball. There's more intense ball in play, and think about how exciting the game would be if grabs the ball, takes off, and I think it would create more scoring opportunities too. So, I am a fan of that rule, absolutely.
That's right. So this is going to be the toughest question you're probably going to ever get asked, even though I said that earlier. Second hardest then. If you were to poach one player from another WAFLW club to join Claremont, what would that be?
Oh, gosh. Well, I will preface this by saying I love all the players I'm with now, so I'm stoked with them.
It's not to them, it's to add another one to the list.
Excuse me. Look, I had the chance to play with Zip on the weekend, and it was super enjoyable. So, yeah, obvious one. Let's go with Zippy if she wants to join Claremont for the last couple of weeks. She has playing WAFLW before she plays AFLW. Flavor.
That's a good one there, Jayme. I've got a few more for you on here, so I do appreciate you coming on. Now, I may have repeated these last time, but forgive me if I have. Game day superstitions. Has that ever been a thing of yours, Jayme, game day superstition? If so, is there anything you've brought into this year or something you've always had?
Sorry, 2 seconds.
Oh, that's all good. So, yeah, Jayme. So, yeah, if you were to say game day superstitions, sorry for that cutout, gents and ladies. Game day superstitions, Jayme. Have you implemented any new ones? Have you added any? Are you one that doesn't really do them?
Not so much superstitions. Like I wear the same brand of sports bra and undies. I'm more like routine rather than superstition. So I'll have my spaghetti the night before. I have Subway for lunch.
That's a good one.
Chicken schnitzel wrap before every game. And then like with my Powerade. And then before the game, I do some skills with the footy, laying on my back. That's more just a routine thing for me rather than superstition. Just like to keep things as normal as possible. Sometimes there's uncontrollables, but keep everything.
That's fair. Now, I don't think I might have. Did I bring the hot topic food question to you about the favourite foods and all that stuff? Did I bring that up last time?
Yeah, we did, and you asked me about the island as well.
Love those. They're the two of the most exciting questions I have. Now, all right, let's see if this answer's changed, which is not one of them. Is there any teammate that loves the limelight, the attention, the camera? Now, since we last spoke, I still had a fair few Claremont girls on at the time. Now I've had probably half the team now. But is there anyone you put in that spot that either was the same as you said then, or someone that you might add now, maybe that you've noticed the last few months?
I'm going to stick with, I think I said Adele last time. She'll tell you that she's a terrible public speaker and doesn't like the limelight, but
Look at that. She told me that.
Yeah, no, she loves it. Yeah, so Adele's still there, loves the limelight.
That's very interesting. All right, who would you feel is the next person that I haven't had on that should try and get on?
Or Eva Campo. I reckon she would be a good laugh. So if you want to reach out to Eva Campo, fun practicing, studying to be a doctor. So you can grill her about that. But Eva Campo is a character and she's great answers.
Interesting. That'll be a target to try and get Eva on. That'd be good. So all right, I'll wrap up with one more for you, James. I do appreciate coming on. If you can map, I said this last time, I'm going to say it again. Dream scenario for yourself this year. Map it out, Jayme. Actually, two questions. If your teammates, this is only a new question, so I know I haven't asked you this. If your teammates, Jayme, were to describe you in a word or a sentence, how would they describe you?
Energetic, I think. I think even when I don't have energy, I try to. And that's more training sense. And then game day, I'm a bit more serious, so not so much there. Training. Oh, I probably actually, that's being a bit kind, saying energetic. I'll say a menace is probably how I get described. Yeah, just a person, likes to get around everyone, but like even at the most awkward times, just if it's silence, I'll just be annoying, banter up. So I get heavily roasted a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, just a bit of a menace.
That's fair enough. Well, you should tell the people that say that. Just bring up your resume about all the highlights that you had, and then ask them to compare it.
Absolutely not. No, I'll just get more.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right. So, dream scenario, Jayme. Obviously, how would you love this season to pan out for yourself? And for the rest of the Claremont season, and maybe a phone call from some other club that's not in the AFLW.
Look, if we're talking dreams, yes, absolutely. But dream scenario is win the rest of the season, win a premiership, and then if it's a dream scenario, then an opportunity on an AFLW list. It would absolutely be a dream. But I'd be content if we came away with the premiership this year. And a lot of girls drafted. That would be, I know this isn't just me, but from perspective, just a heap of girls drafted and achieving those goals that they want as well would be so exciting for the club.
Jayme, it's been a pleasure having you on again. I'm sure this won't be the last time because it's been really good having you both times. And maybe next time I might be talking to you, there might be a premiership medallion at it, and there might be a league BNF. Anyway, Jayme, thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much, Scoops. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jayme.